Hello all. Well, the other day, about 4 days ago, a friend of mine who's in Los Angeles who rides an electric scooter and doesn't have a car. He unfortunately got into an accident and broke his arm and his clavicle and has a shoulder injury and is in bad shape. He said he woke up in the hospital, didn't even know he'd crashed, and he had a helmet and safety gear on, which saved a lot of his body. But unfortunately, a lot of people think that electric vehicles are weak, so they go as fast as they can on them. Well, some of these scooters will go 60 miles an hour. Some will go 45. He likes to go 45. 45 on a scooter seems a little too fast to me. But you have to, if you're going to do the electric vehicle thing, you have to treat it with respect. And doesn't mean you have to have it wide open all the time. Make sure you wear your safety gear when you're on these electric vehicles, because you will get into an accident probably with one of these sooner or later, because you're feeling really good that day and you open it up and wham, somebody either hits you in the car or you hit a pothole just right, and the tires are small, 8 to 10 inches, so that's not very big. So my advice, when we all start getting electric vehicles, treat them with respect, for crying out loud. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any insurance, any health insurance. That's a major problem here in this country, is that health insurance costs so much and nobody can afford it, or not nobody. A lot of people can't afford it, and so they go without. And then they end up in the hospital with a gigantic health care bill, hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially if they have to do any surgery. So my advice, make sure you know who you're voting for, who's for universal health care, and make sure that you ride those electric vehicles with respect, because they will. Just because they're electric doesn't mean they're safe all the time, just like any other vehicle. Treat it with respect. Let's go up and do a video. Okay, some interesting information. Wall Street lobbyists admit big banks don't plan to honor climate pledges. All four banks, JP Morgan, Chase, B of A, and Citigroup, and Wells Fargo, have pledged to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050, though they refuse to stop fossil fuel financing now, as they confirmed during recent congressional testimony in September. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and the international energy agencies have called for an immediate end to fossil fuel extraction to help stop global warming. The Bank Policy Institute did not respond to the request for comments on whether it expects banks' public comments on climate change to be taken seriously. Okay, so what does that mean for us? Well, obviously, if you belong to a big bank, you need to slowly or fast, very fast, get out of that bank. Change over to a credit union. You have to do your homework on credit unions, because some of them are just as bad as big banks. But more than likely, you can find a small credit union. Usually what you do is whatever town or city you're in, find out if they're into a credit union and then join that credit union. And get out of these big, horrible, suck banks that refuse to honor their pledges on climate change. Lying to the public, they say, is just part of doing business. We say one thing in public, but do another in private. And that's just the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be for a long time. Banks have no incentive to stop lying to the public. They just do it because they know that the public won't remember that they pledged to get out of oil, big oil, and stop funding them. They make a lot of money. The CEOs make millions per year on this funding of big oil, and they know it, and they're not about to. Who's going to stop funding big oil if it makes them millions of dollars per year? Yeah, they're going to do it just to say it so that you'll get off their back. So the only thing you can really do, get out of the bank altogether. If we don't watch out for the planet, who is? If we don't keep these banks accountable for their action, who will? It's got to be us people or nobody. So I'll have a link down below to Steve, who was the one that crashed, And maybe if you feel like giving him some dollars here and there, he's begging for money for trying to help him get through this financial crisis he's in. He can't make any more money because that's how he made his money, was delivering food on scooters. It's very sad to hear when people get hurt. I'll appreciate it if you give them some money, if you can. If not, don't. I appreciate all your comments on this video, all your comments on the last videos, and all your ups and your new subscribers. And until next time.